Finally today, to mark homecoming this weekend, Sunup's Curtis Hare learns what it takes to become Oklahoma State University's #1 Cowboy.
Like a lot of students at Oklahoma State University, Stephen Facconi and Kevin Osborne are full speed into the routine grind of college life. Wake up, go to class, study, worry about grades, sleep, repeat. Kevin is a senior majoring in agricultural education while Stephen is working on his master's in business. Two ordinary students, except for the tiny fact that they're the biggest men on campus.
So I didn't know Pete was actually a college student. You know, it's kind of funny. We always talk about how many picture frames we're in people's houses that we don't even know.
If you didn't know, there are two Petes working a football game. Each quarter they switch. One works the east end zone, the other works the west. Kevin is up first.
Really, it comes down to basically entertaining yourself. Because, if you're on the sidelines, yeah, you're watching the game, but also you're going to walk over and say hi to the kids or steal somebody's camera and take a bunch of pictures.
You can kind of tell which one of us is in the suit based on how we're acting in that moment. I'm pretty ornery, and Kevin likes to move his hips a lot.
I was not conscious that I've moved my hips that much, and I'll be conscious of that now.
Being Pete is not just a weekend, it's a full-time commitment.
Kevin and I split about 700 appearances a year with Pete, and then we go and we're full-time college students.
Football games, basketball games, soccer games, weddings, anniversaries, birthday parties, holiday parties, even gender reveals are on the list of appearances.
You have to love the university. It's not one of those deals like, oh, I want to do it just because. You have to eat, breathe, and sleep at Oklahoma State University because it's a year-long commitment of your life.
Most universities have mascots, but it's different here at OSU. It's like Pete is the university, and the university is Pete. And this year marks an important milestone. It's been 60 years since the legendary Frank Eaton was immortalized as OSU's mascot.
Pistol Pete is really the symbol of OSU. It's probably the most visible symbol we have. He's certainly one of the most beloved mascots of any university in the country. But he has become, over these 60 years, an integral part of the image of Oklahoma State University.
Stephen is the 88th Pete and Kevin is the 89th. 89 Petes may sound like a lot, but over 60 years, it's a relatively small club.
Being able to share something with a few select number of guys that have done this over the years. You go to other schools, like at OU, for example, they have 14 people every year. So it's kind of that tradition and kind of brotherhood.
The students that portray Pistol Pete are always some of the most outstanding students we have. And this year, they're both from the College of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources. And they do a tremendous amount of work, and they're kind of everywhere. That's why you need two of them. We probably need four of them, really.
Imagine what you're like when it's 90 degrees. It's not any different than a hayfield.
While the role Stephen and Kevin play is a fixture for the university,
I'll take them both.
They're also part of another OSU tradition, agriculture.
My dad raises wheat, cotton, alfalfa, Bermuda, and we raise cows. And then my brother and I started our own farm a couple years ago where we grow the same commodities and market those.
Kevin's grandfather was an agricultural professor at OSU, and growing up in Tuttle, Kevin's dream was to one day become Pistol Pete.
I was up here on the weekends with my grandpa. I'd always see Pistol Pete plastered everywhere, pictures, posters, just everywhere. I thought, man, that's the coolest thing.
Growing up in Ada, Stephen never thought he'd want to leave Pontotoc County until he took a trip up to the university with his FFA chapter. After getting his undergrad in agricultural education, he met a former Pete and went for it.
What was cool about Kevin and I is that neither one of us are in Greek life. Neither one of us are in different colleges. We both were brought up in Kasner.
Kevin hopes to be Pete again next year, and this is Stephen's second and final run, an experience that will continue to shape him.
Just being able to say one day, I might bring my family back here. My kids might come to their first game at OSU one day, and I'll be able to see, that guy on the field. I used to do that. That's pretty cool.
From Pete's stomping grounds in Boone Pickens Stadium, I'm Curtis Hare.